April 16th, episode 65. It's been quite a few episodes we've already have under our belt, but hi, Oscar.
Hello.
Today we are talking about diets and waking up early. I think that was our episode 64. One of those we were talking about how we should chat about diets and other things. How's your like nutrition and other things going these days?
It's mental. I've just over the past 3 days, have been the most productive I think that I have been in a long time, and also over the last 3 days, I've accidentally started the new diet, a very toxic diet
What?
of a breakfast of chocolate muffins and energy drinks.
Oh, you think that
Yeah,
that had an impact on your energy levels and the productivity and stuff?
yeah, I think so. I don't think it's only the energy though. I think it's also mood.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like a spike in both energy and mood at the same time, like positive mood. That it's just like, all right, let's get the fucking work done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's weird. It's really weird, and I don't know. I don't think it's sustainable. But right now, I'm still indulging in this diet. I had another 2 triple Belgian chocolate muffins this morning and a Monster energy drink. Well, not this morning, at like 12. So in the morning I had like 6 eggs because I was trying to change my diet back to something more normal.
Okay.
And then I realized I was sitting at my computer and I just wasn't feeling it. Just wasn't feeling, the same high that the fucking muffins gave me just to do work, Um, and so obviously, I guess you could become dependent on it, and I guess there could be withdrawals. You might get used to it, like you can get used to coffee or any drug, right? And where it doesn't have the same effect anymore. So yeah, that would be interesting to see if that actually happens, because I'm probably going to cut down from the 2 muffins to 1 muffin for
Yeah.
going forward, because the 2 muffins are actually like almost 1,000 calories, kilocalories. I found out it's actually kilocalories,
Yep.
not
I
calories.
literally
Yeah.
had this thought yesterday. I don't know how it was like. Feels like we jinxed it almost. I was like, when someone's like, "Oh, how many calories that is?" Like, well, it's around 300,000. It's like, wait, what do you mean? Well, kilocalories, 300, but
Yeah,
it's
because everybody always says calories, right?
yep.
And on the packaging it says kcals, right? And I'm like, okay, if it's calories, what the K can only mean kilo, but it never made sense because everybody always said calories. So to me, it was like just like this mystery until I actually Googled it today, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that does mean kilocalories.
See, it's weird how
So
we jinxed it because, like, literally yesterday I was like thinking about that. I was like, well, god damn it. Next time someone asks me about calories, I'll be like, nah, dude, it's like 400,000 calories.
yeah,
Like, it's weird, but yeah, it's just the conventions, I guess, that people. Because kilocalories is an easier measurement derived from like the kilojoules or whatever, which measures the energy. Uh,
right.
kg, kj. Okay, so we
So
have
so like
like
one
1
one
kilocalorie
calorie
or
one
calorie.
calorie is like how much it takes to like raise the temperature of water by 1 degree under the pressure of some one I don't know what it was,
Hmm.
um uh Newton or whatever, I don't know.
Okay.
I just randomly read it. I don't know, it's interesting.
Uh, possibly. I'll see what the joule is. So 1 kilo,
Joule.
yeah, 1 kilocalorie gives you 4 kilojoules, which A joule is a work of energy equal to the work done by a force of 1 Newton, blah blah, 1 meter. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I mean it's all energy, and then those calculations. I think we just came to the agreement that kilocalories is the way to count them. I mean,
Yeah, it's a weird tangent.
when people say we are counting calories, they are not wrong. Like for sure, they're
No.
counting calories. It's just that they're counting like in the hundreds of thousands of calories and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So how was your egg diet? Well, you tried it rather.
I, you keep bringing up the egg diet like it was a thing. I just had eggs this morning, and that was it. And I'm probably never going to do that again because it literally didn't do anything for me. I just felt more hungry after I had the 6 eggs.
Oh, what the hell? 6.
Yeah, and
Damn.
I had a big lasagna, like
Ooh.
I don't know, 1,000 calories plus, probably like 1,500 calories before going to sleep. So I woke up this morning, had 6 eggs, and I just felt more emptiness in my stomach because I don't know how it works. Maybe like the metabolism has started up or whatever. Uh, but normally I would just not have breakfast,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't. I would feel great, but then I had 6 eggs and I felt shit, and so okay, I went and got the fail-safe muffin
Mhm.
and energy drink, and now I'm back on it. We'll
It's
see
like
if I have withdrawals like a heroin addict soon.
damn muffin addict. Like Wall Street doing Quaalude and stuff.
Yep.
Just to keep you going.
Yeah.
Eats sugar all. I mean, I'm to be fair, my diet is messed up the past
I mean,
days.
programmers, right? Programmers are probably the unhealthiest people there are in terms of diet and
True.
exercise. So I'm wondering, is like, you have to have a shit diet to be a good programmer.
I mean,
It's like
eventually.
because the way the sugar just raises my fucking mood in the morning that I'm able to do so much right now. Anyway, I don't know how it's going to work long term. So it's kind of an experiment. Uh, but if this is like long term sustainable, the only thing being that it's bad for my health, very long term. Uh, and it's like, yo, this shit actually works. And the people who do drink the energy drinks and eat chocolate and have the fucking pizza for, lunch,
uh,
are fucking churning out code and shit
I
at
mean, to
record
be
pace.
fair, it's. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a health expert, so I don't know on the like effects of certain foods on like your body and shit. But the only thing that you're doing here is like intaking calories, which is like if you're able to offset that by like I don't know, like random burpees after you like write a line
Oh,
of code or
there
whatever,
are
or
there
like
are good and bad calories. I mean, it's also a shit ton of sugar, so you got to take that into
mm,
account.
oh, true, so like
Yeah, you can't just ignore that.
yeah,
It's
great.
like both the muffins and the energy drink are loaded with sugar.
I wonder. It's like so to expand on this crazy diets and productivity talk is I know that for me at least, if I'm hungry, I will be thinking about it, even though I'll try to not think about hunger. It's like it'll take over, right? And I eventually I'll be like, nah, I just need to go and eat something because I am not productive, right? Um, but I know that people who do like 1 meals a day or other stuff, right? And I know that you've been on that. How does it feel to like in a productivity sense? Because I do know that there's the other uh, side of the coin where if you're hungry, you might be even more productive because food is not well. I guess your body is not like digesting food, even though it might be on your mind. But if you like, take your thoughts away from it and make the food as a reward for when you accomplish a task, maybe you're more productive or whatever. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, like being productive when you're hungry and stuff?
Well, that's all this, all the shit I've been saying when I was on 1 meal a day. And to be honest, when I did, there were times when I did 1 meal a day when I didn't have breakfast, didn't have lunch, uh, and I was able to do so much. and focus and get lots of work done. There's a lot of factors, right? But it's like I think over time it just became the norm as just a normal diet, and it wasn't doing anything for me anymore. Maybe like it's there's so many variables, and like there just isn't enough science on this shit, right? Um, it's just not that important of an area for people to like devote so much time to study. Uh, but it's really weird, and I'm wondering about like this crazy diet that I'm doing right now, whether it is like sustainable in terms of effectiveness,
Mm.
or whether it will wear out with its effectiveness as well, and I'll be just left eating lots of sugar and not feeling any effect, right? Uh, but I don't know. We'll just have to test it out, see long term. Um,
Are you keeping a diary of this or something?
uh, I could do, I guess, yeah. Um,
Like, yeah, you know those simple mood counters almost or whatever. Just be like, today I ate this. Currently I'm feeling this, and then like just quickly say how you're feeling. How was your productivity, and then try and find correlations to the food you ate. Because I know that
yeah,
chocolate supposedly gives you dopamine and stuff, and it's like you feel happier and other stuff, right?
yeah, but obviously, you can get used to the things like that, the things that give you dopamine and other things that over time they start to give you less, and then you need even more sugar and so on. For example, I don't know how it works exactly with sugar. Like I don't know the specifics of all of this, but the extreme diets like this is like sometimes when you're in the crunch, say, right,
Mm-hmm.
you could go for an extreme diet for like a week or two when you actually need to have like a tons of focus, but perhaps like those diets are just not sustainable. And I was thinking the same exact thing about um, one meal a day.
Mm.
It's like without the inherent motivation to do work, the one meal a day alone isn't going to probably help you. But if you already have the motivation to do the work, it might help you, because I know I've been able to focus on difficult problems a lot better on an empty stomach when I was already motivated to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I ate food, I was just my mind was just kind of clouded. My thinking was just kind of clouded, and I just couldn't think about like very difficult for me difficult concepts that I was learning. It was maths at the time, I think. But right now, I'm not really learning any difficult concepts. I am, you know, taking in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
information. That's not very hard. It's just a lot of work and a lot of trial and error with like setting up securing my IRC server, and I actually managed it last night. And it's like it worked after I restarted my Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
Yeah, I think something was still running on the port that I was trying to run my server on, and that's just my hypothesis right now. But I'm gonna have to figure out what it was.
It's the good old
I think someone was
turn it off and on again, right?
yeah. So I think something was already like running on the port, and I was like tweaking my server and restarting it, and I just wasn't getting it to work. And then I restarted my Raspberry Pi. Obviously, all the processes that could have been still running were cleared. And I started my server, and it just magically worked. And I was just so relieved, because I've been going at it for 3 days, I think.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah.
and like all of the time, I was like, okay, what I'm getting wrong here, and I would find like small things that I corrected that were wrong, and I corrected, but it still wasn't working. And then finally, this is the last thing of restarting my Raspberry Pi, and it's like this kind of trial and error and so on. And it's not really a hard concept. Like I understood the theory of what I had to do in terms of how this kind of security works, but then all the implementation detail and all the trial and error, just going at it, requires this kind of energy that I get from like this chocolate and energy drinks and shit.
Mm.
Otherwise, I probably would have given up already.
Mm.
The the mood boost as well. Because when you've got this fucking problem like this in front of you, right, and you just want to give up, when you've got this boosted morale from chocolate, with the dopamine and shit, it's like you just keep going at it, I guess. But like all of these extreme diets, I don't think they're sustainable. Yeah, and when you look at people like the Twitter CEO, Jack Dorsey, who's doing the 1 meal a day,
Oh, is he?
it's like, yeah, he's been doing it for a long time. It's like he's already made it, right? You know, with the people that already made it doing like extreme shit. It's like, yeah, you don't really have, you can't really measure your performance because it's going to be like your idea of whether you're performing is going to be biased anyway because you've already fucking made it. Like you are already on top of the world, so you just need to tell yourself that you're doing good. Um, it's like Joe Rogan also going on fat diets and shit. It's like you already made it, dude. You can't really prove anything with with doing these diets
Yeah, so
because
it
you're
must
already
mean
on
that
top.
these guys are, it literally must mean that these guys are doing it just for the health benefits and just the feel good
Yeah, it could be
aspect.
that.
I have
It could be that.
heard, like successful people's habits, etc., right? How
Mhm.
they do have this some sort of like a thing, like a health. I don't know, like they try to eat healthy, they exercise, they keep their mind clean, and um, it is a pattern of high
Yeah.
performance people
Yeah,
where,
no, but I also did hear that that only happens why they once they become successful, and
hmm,
that seems to make a lot more sense. They don't necessarily have all these habits as they're coming up to
oh,
being successful.
yeah, I would
It's
imagine
once they are successful.
there must have been some periods for all of those people where they were just like grinding and doing some
Exactly.
very stupid diets, not even sleeping, not eating, and yeah, I mean, in all fairness, I mean, if I had like
That's
a shit ton of money, I would probably hire a personal trainer too, like a trainer,
right.
a nutritionist. Like Mike Tyson was on Joe Rogan's too, and he was explaining. And again, I've read into that diet myself. Not sure if it's much superstition or whatever about foods that depend on your blood type. So, because for example, quinoa for my blood type doesn't work, chicken doesn't work, and all of that, But I tracked down the source and roots of this, and it was just like a book published by some nutritionist scientist who didn't really back up his research, etc. So I don't know. It's like maybe superstition, maybe not. Yeah, but I would really want to experiment if I had time and I had someone who would know this shit. I could experiment on how my body reacts to certain foods because I don't know, dude. It's so hard to see. Like when I eat chicken one day, I eat like I don't know beef the other day, and like maybe my body reacts to it in like a few days time. You know how like you uh you may be allergic to some foods or whatever, but you never see it because it's a delayed reaction. Like I had this
Mhm.
colleague who would be allergic to chocolate and cocoa. So if he would eat it in the office, he would start sneezing all over the place, and in a few days
Yeah.
he would get a breakout, like of acne. And I mean, this is literally obvious. Your body is telling you each time you eat chocolate, you notice that you start sneezing, and it's like, well, it's good. You noticed it. Don't eat chocolate or this specific thing. So it's easier. Um, but when it comes to like different kind of diets, you eat it and then you never really know how your body reacts to it until a few days later, maybe. And it's so
Yep.
hard to track which food you ingested and which was bad or which was good. I think people have done the elimination diets or something where you have to like eliminate a food or like start building up your diet by like eating
Mhm.
one food and then seeing how your body reacts to it. Like,
Yeah.
but again, I lack knowledge and understanding to be able to perform this on my own. Just like
Hmm.
spot Like, what do you need to spot? Maybe you need to measure your blood sugar levels, and maybe you need to like check your pressure. Like, I don't know, dude. It's like
Try chocolate for breakfast.
chocolate for breakfast. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I just
see how
had
your
coffee and
productivity is.
I had coffee and some Galaxy chocolate bars with it just now. So,
Or get some fucking Belgian chocolate muffins. Oh, dude, you're going to write all of the rest of your pages for your report today.
I mean, I know sugar do give you a boost, but then it so happens to a slump follows.
Well, yes, in the evening when you're chilling. So it's like
Hmm,
whatever. I
possibly.
have been a lot more uh, irritable, I think. See, when even talking to you, I've been a bit of a cunt first few days.
Irritable in the
That
evenings, you mean?
it's just, I guess, in the evenings. But when I met you, I think yesterday, was it yesterday? Uh,
Mm,
I can think of two separate times in our conversation when I was just being a dick. Uh, about your bloody nose.
mm,
You said, oh, the thing about exercise, like you can't do exercise 24 hours after you have a bloody nose or something. Uh, when I asked you if we're going for a run tomorrow
mm-hmm.
or today, and then I was just, a dick about that.
That's okay, man.
Um,
Well, I'm not stopping you from running, but like, and at the same
no,
time,
no, no,
it's
no,
not
no,
it's not that I'm
no.
claiming that I'm trying to like avoid it or whatever. I would
We don't have to
like,
go on that tangent now. I'm just pointing
yeah,
that out.
okay.
I'm just pointing that out in correlation uh, with my new diet, so that
Mm.
I've been a lot less measured with my responses and a lot more kind of like impulsive, I guess. Which is also, which has helped me in my work. But then, you know, and say what effect does this then have on my social relations and so on, right? On my relationships and shit. So like you gotta notice all of these things together.
I just
As long as
become
you're,
like,
yeah.
dude, I just become irritable when I'm hungry. Like, I don't know. It's weird, but if I'd be hungry, I'd probably be like mad on the world, dude. Like, man, I'm hungry. I can't think straight. I just need to eat something. Um, Even though I did hear that if you start like cutting the portions of your food, right, you your stomach eventually starts either expecting less or it just shrinks or whatever, and you physically just start eating less. Um, it's like those obese people when they keep eating so much, their stomach expands and they are constantly hungry, even though they don't need to eat anymore. Like just don't. But they're just used to it and they feel the hunger. And
Mm.
apparently, you can combat that by like cutting portions and like eating less food. Therefore, naturally, you're gonna want to eat less food. Like, I mean,
Right.
you did the one meal a day, and like, how were you feeling all the way up
Well,
leading to that meal? Like, was it
I mean, okay,
unbearable hunger, or did you get used to
no,
it? Or
no, I did get used to it, but I also most recently when I was doing it, I wasn't really having a big enough meal of the for the one meal a day for the one meal. Uh, so when I used to do it, I would have a huge meal. I would have like a 3 course meal basically, um, and I would probably get almost all the calories or all more than the calories I needed uh, to last me the entire next day, right?
yeah,
But then I just got lazy with making the meal, and I also didn't want to eat shit. So sometimes I would skip a meal and I would just have like, oh, I'll just have porridge or something, and it probably wasn't enough calories or the same amount. And I got bored of cooking the same thing over and over again as well. Um, so like it's really tough. You have to put that effort into your one meal to have all the calories and try to make it healthy as well, probably. Um, if you can't, if you're not going to make it and make it healthy, that for me, I'd probably, if I was to go back on one meal now, I'd probably have lasagnas as my lazy meal when I don't want to
mm,
cook, right?
Yeah.
because a lasagna, big lasagna, always fills me up, lots of calories, and it tastes good
Hmm.
for me anyway. Um, so yeah, as I think as long as you're eating enough calories, you should be fine. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. I personally think I need to cut calories, um, or just stop snacking. That's one of the, and start drinking more water, because that's and again, it's so weird, dude. It's like kind of superstition, but there's so many weird sources online. You start reading it, and one is like, oh, you need to drink a gallon of water a day. You read another study, people say, oh, well, if you drink more than 1 gallon, or if you drink a 1 gallon, it's going to dilute your minerals, and you're going to start uh, like losing the good minerals, because you now drank like 3 or 4 liters of water, which is too much for your body. And then it's just like, what? Who do I believe, right? Like,
your
uh,
body.
yeah, you need to believe your body, but then my body, dude, I drink like 1 liter a day, and I just sit and be like, that's probably not healthy. You know?
1 liter of water a day is
Yeah.
not healthy. I
No,
think that's pretty much the healthiest. I don't know. That sounds like about right. 1 liter of water a day. Yeah.
that's not good though. You need at least two. That's what they say. At
Oh,
least two.
I mean, sure, two, 1, 2, whatever.
But
Yeah,
there's a
1 liter will do.
um, I don't know, I guess, but
As long as you're
then
having, that's better than no liters of water
no,
or
that is
200
true.
liters of water. Milliliters.
However, still you are. So what happens in here is your body starts retaining water, right? And then it starts like swelling or whatever, or just like starts retaining water in the face and in other places where it's like your skin needs to regenerate, therefore it needs water supposedly, right? So you need to like keep drinking to clean yourself, or like to not retain water. Pretty much that's what I heard, right? Which is like, if you
Yeah.
don't drink water often, see, that's what happened when we go and have a walk or whatever. You go and look for the bathroom, and I'll just be like, I don't need it. But that's the thing. Your body has gotten used to constantly getting new fresh water, therefore your body is not retaining it. My body's like,
Mhm.
oh well, it's gonna be like another 5 hours till we get a glass of water. Let's keep all this old water in and stuff. So
No,
yeah, I think drinking
no,
water is good, but I
that
just need
might
to
be. Yeah,
learn to
yeah. That is.
learn to drink more of it.
Yeah, I was crazy about drinking a lot of water at one
I'll
point.
I'll open up a bottle just now and take a sip.
I mean, I'm drinking water as we speak. I got a big mug of water here,
That's good.
so
We gotta keep it
I,
up.
I fill up. I fill up lots of like free bottles of water at the library every day, and I drink them all. I don't know how many
Oh,
liters
that's
there are.
very
There,
smart. That's smart,
because
actually.
I shouldn't be saying this on a podcast because then they're gonna ban me from stealing their water at the library. I mean, you're allowed to have the water, but I don't think they want people coming in and just like filling up their
The
shit.
idea is that you are filling up like 3 bottles of water and you drink all of them up. So that is actually a good way of measuring it, because I sometimes am stopped by the small. I have this metal bottle, right? And it's like half a liter. If it's like, if I drink it all and I sit at my desk and I just reach for it and I'm like, oh, it's empty. Ah, screw that. I'm not gonna go fill it up. So if I had like a big 2 liter bottle, which, let's say how you're saying it, you have like all the 3 bottles filled up and you know that you need to drink them all in one day, then I would be at least like, oh yeah, I still have this much water to drink in a day. And as opposed to here, when I need to constantly like fill it up, it's more of a hurdle to like go to the kitchen, even though if it sounds stupid, but it's like, I'd rather just not drink than go and fill it up and stuff.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe you should look in. I should probably look into like getting a bigger, like a bigger bottle.
Yeah, if you want to edit the video, the podcast here, then I can go and check how many liters of water that is that I'm having in my cups.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So we are ending the podcast. And
I mean,
yeah,
what?
all the crazy diets. Other thing that is crazy, we have Dogecoin currently at 45 cents,
Oh,
which has gone up from like what, 2 cents or whatever. Other crazy things happening in the world. I don't know. Screw that. That's our podcast over. Crazy diets, nutrition, and productivity. I even managed to find a title before we finished the podcast. Catch y'all, everybody, next week. Thanks, Oscar, for the podcast, and see you later.